You're watching Aurora 8, proud to be serving Aurora, Colorado, and all-America City.
Recently, the city of Aurora rebranded its Aurora Arts District in Northwest Aurora as the Aurora Cultural Arts District. Now, the move was meant to both display the growing variety of arts found in the district while hinting at where the area is headed for the future. For example, with now 4 successful theaters in just 1 square block in the district, there is a new energy and focus, and it's hoped that that will attract even more cultural art opportunities in the near future. Along with this new focus and energy, the district hired a new managing director. He comes with a successful background as both an artist, entrepreneur, and also has been the key to launching other successful arts districts in the region. Now, best of all, Tracy Weil is a hometown guy. After being successful elsewhere in the state, he's back to take the Aurora Cultural Arts District to a whole new level. On this edition, we'll meet Tracy Weil and learn more about his plans for the Aurora Cultural Arts District. Arts is the focus of this edition of Dateline Aurora. Greetings and welcome to Dateline Aurora. I'm Adam Dempsey. If you're one of the growing fans of the Aurora Fox Theater or the Vintage Theater in Northwest Aurora, well, you know very well how fortunate the city is to have these extremely high-quality live theater opportunities right here in our community. But what many people may not know is that each of these venues actually houses 2 theaters, count them, one large and one a little more intimate, so that a much wider variety of performances can be held. The end result is that there are actually 4 theaters in 1 square block of Northwest Aurora. This is just one example of a new energy that has come to the area, and one that the city and the newly rebranded Aurora Cultural Arts District hoped to build on for the future. To guide the growth of the full range of cultural arts in the area, the district has recently hired our guest, Tracy Weil. Tracy, welcome to Dateline Aurora.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're an artist too, huh?
I am. I'm a painter.
What medium?
Oil painting.
Oil, huh?
Yeah.
I do oil too. I just love it. So a kindred spirit here.
Yeah, exactly.
As we mentioned in the open, you're a hometown guy. You're coming back.
I am. I'm coming back. I went to Carousel Academy, I went to Crawford Elementary, I went to West Middle School, and Aurora Central. Now,
you lived here during your youth, so you know something about arts here. And so you were probably active in arts in high school as well.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, you had a lot of shows and stuff. And
well, I didn't really have too many shows, but I was into art and architecture and that kind of stuff.
Okay, how has Aurora changed since you were in high school here, back in the day, as they call it now?
Well, it's grown. It's grown really quite a bit, more so than I even thought. But it's an incredible place. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember seeing Star Wars at the Fox Theater. It was an amazing theater venue when I was there. I saw Smokey and the Bandit like 15 times, and I'm so happy to see that the Fox Theater is kind of revitalized into a theater.
And you went off to school in Durango?
Yeah, I went to school in Durango after
Fort Lewis.
Fort Lewis College.
Okay,
yep.
Majored in?
Majored in English, communications, journalism, and art.
Art. So art won out.
It did.
The journalism.
I wanted to be a weatherman.
To be a weatherman, huh? And you decided not to try to forecast in Colorado.
It'd be a little difficult,
instead, right? Oh, yeah, I guess some guys now would want to do exactly that. Because you didn't want to be a starving artist then, right?
No, I don't really believe in that mentality. I have a champagne lifestyle, and not really.
So you went over to the management side and learned art administration, because in order to really structure your own good shows, you have to understand where the revenue flows, how to get people in, how to promote it, all that kind of stuff. So that's just as much a part of you as being a painter is too.
Yeah, there's definitely an art to business. I mean, as an artist, so many artists, sit around and they want to be discovered, and it's a rarity that happens. And in order to actually make a living as an artist, you have to be nimble and you have to, diversify a little bit.
Yeah, one of the arts districts that you were involved with, I guess, was the Rhino.
Yeah,
in Denver?
I helped found the Rhino Art District, and that's actually where I currently live now. And a couple artists got together, and we started talking about how can we get more people to the area and sell more paintings and that kind of thing. And so we branded, it with the standard acronym. It was called River North, and so we went with RI for River and NO for North, and Rhino was born.
A Rhino was born. Now,
Yep.
cities are going to arts districts, I guess at a pace I've never seen before. I think Denver has like 3 or 4. Now Aurora has one as well. Why are cities doing this? Is it to keep tax dollars here at home, keep talent here at home because it adds to a better quality of life? What's going on here?
I think all of the above. I mean, I think that, artists tend to move into an area that's maybe disregarded, and they make it cool, they make it hip.
Yeah.
And that revitalizes that particular neighborhood. And, bars and restaurants move in, and, other businesses that support the art district. So an art district can really be an economic driver.
So in order to if you want to revitalize an area, don't call in an architect and have them do remodeling. Bring in the artist.
The artist, yeah.
They'll make it cool and hip, and you don't have to spend half that money to remodel it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a big believer that, artists should be credited for that kind of thing, rather than the traditional model where they move in, they make it cool, and then they can't afford the rent anymore and get kicked out. I think it's an art district's job to be able to keep that artistic element there.
Now you have an eclectic bunch of architecture in Northwest Aurora. Some of it's pretty new, some of it's not. Do you see the same type of revitalization going on there with some of the buildings that have aged a bit?
Yeah, I mean, old buildings are great. They've got this great reuse thing going on, and there's good bones, as they say. And we're setting up shop at 1400 Dallas, which used to be a police substation.
Yeah.
And it's a great building. It's got a lot of potential, and it makes a great art gallery, art studios. There's all those buildings on Colfax, the old hotels. I mean, those would be great, studio spaces for artists.
Now, are we seeing a resurgence of young people, for example, going into arts at schools these days, or because of the internet and computers, everybody's doing things in little boxes instead of maybe on the walls? Are we seeing enough talent there to help make a district successful?
Yeah, in Aurora particularly, yes, definitely. One of my jobs is to kind of reach out into the neighborhood and create the community and see what's there, and be able to tap into the artists that are in the neighborhood and bring them sort of to the surface.
Okay, another project you were involved with was called the 40 West project?
40 West Art District,
Okay,
yeah.
tell me about that one.
That's up on Lakewood on West Colfax.
Okay.
And it was a great project because it was actually, the EPA gave a grant to the city of Lakewood to create an art district. So with that money, we got together, and I was hired as a consultant to come in and sort of create a district, but you can't just like walk in and create a district. You have to get neighborhood champions. It's all about making those people that are passionate about the community come to the surface and get involved and get excited about art. And it's great because art can really do that for people, for sure. And with 40 West, what we did is we collaborated with the local college there, the Rocky Mountain School of Art and Design, and their students actually took the branding and the marketing for the district on as their class project. So they came up with 3 concepts, and 40 West was one of the concepts. We brought it to the community, all the concepts, and the community chose the name. And so hence that art district was born.
I find it very interesting. The EPA gave the city
Isn't
a
that
grant?
interesting? Yeah, yeah.
The EPA.
Yeah, it was a brownfield, so they wanted to, pump some
Okay.
energy into it and
There's
and clean it
another
up.
reason to clean up the environment to help artists. Helping artists love the EPA. We have to go
It's amazing how that happened.
along
Yeah.
with that. And how long ago was that?
That was about 2 years ago.
Okay, and it's grown well now?
Yeah, it's grown well. I gave them a 3-year plan to be able to sort of follow, to get together and start getting locations. It's all about the locations.
So do they have their art walk too?
They're not really ready for art
Not-
walk
not
quite yet. Yeah, they do events. The light rail stationed open, and they had
Oh,
a big
yeah.
party there. They got artists down there to show their work and sell their wares and stuff. So they're still creating the there, as they say.
So this is the kind of strategy that you're looking at for Aurora then in Northwest.
Yeah.
And maybe with an EPA grant too. But
Yeah, well, that'd be nice. Well, the key is trying to find their story. What is Aurora's story? What is this neighborhood's story? So, I just started a month ago, so I'm still kind of, diving through that sort of information to kind of see what comes to the surface. And I'm finding that it's a very multicultural city.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of diversity here, and a lot of the other art districts don't, capitalize on that or, support that. So I think it'll be really a great niche for them to sort of bring that to the surface and have ethnic restaurants and, all kinds of great art from all different cultures.
So you're looking at theater as the anchor then,
right?
Perhaps there.
Yeah, it's a theater district. I mean, right now, it's amazing that, I mean, there's no district in Denver that has that many theaters, and so Aurora is already ahead of the game.
And I think Dava is up there too.
Dava's incredible. I mean, they've
been the anchor
program
there for a long time.
Right. They do such great work with the kids. I mean, it's really amazing. Susan over there and Vivian, they really care about kids, and they really care about art and how art can help give kids the skills to, approach today's world.
Okay, give us an idea about the size of the area. Is it from like Dayton to Florence, or how large of an area are we talking about being impacted by the district?
Yeah, it's not really that large. I mean, it's Chester to Florence to 14th to pretty much around City Park is kind of the boundaries of the district. It's just plopped right there in the middle of what they're calling sort of the Opportunity Triangle. And that's surrounded by Lowry, Stapleton, and then the new medical centers that are happening over at Anschutz and Fitzsimmons. So it's really poised to be this really center piece that all those communities can come to discover art and to bring their kids to come play, that kind of stuff.
And so the Opportunity Triangle then becomes a hook or an anchor for you to attract the restaurants, to attract the artists, and it gives you I guess a built-in base to promote to then.
Right. People, it all works together. People come and they have dinner and then they go to the show, or they come to dinner and then they, go to an art gallery opening, and, the synergy is created by, creating that cultural district.
So all you need up there now is what, film, dance?
Yeah, we have Kim Robart's Dance is moving in the neighborhood. We just heard that. They're moving into the old Aaron Rentz building. And they're an amazing company. They do some really progressive, really interesting kind of dance performances.
Okay, so they're there. Now the film you have to work on a bit.
Right.
Maybe when the theater doesn't have anybody on stage, you'll have a special something going
on. Well, there's
on
actually a screen in the park that we could use to have like a film fest, which would be amazing. Or not in the park, but actually in the Fletcher Plaza.
Long term for the district itself, what do you see?
I see a vibrant place with lots of people and that are celebrating art, having a good time, this beautiful multicultural mix of which is a great reflection of what Aurora is. I would love to see artists being able to make a living, being able to, have a salary that they can rely upon and not struggle as an artist.
Yeah.
And just really a great community that people really know that, this is what art can create.
And this is your new logo, I think it is, or something?
Yeah, this is our logo for our new arts festival.
Oh, that's right,
yeah,
yes.
We're calling it Play, so we want people to come play in the art district.
Okay, now, playing meaning attending, or bring your brush and come up and paint something?
Come play with art, come see a play, come, all kinds of imagery that can kind of play off the word play.
Okay.
That can be creative and stuff. And I think people really appreciate art if they can themselves get engaged. If they go to a gallery and it's really a high-end gallery and they're kind of nervous about going in and there's no approachability to it.
Right.
I think that sort of pushes people away, that they don't understand, they don't know how to speak art. But I think when you bring art to an area of play, people are like, I could do that. My kids love to play with art. They love to, do that kind of stuff. And it's fun. Art is fun.
So what are you talking about? Art for real people then?
Yeah, art for all people, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when is this event?
This is June 29th on a Saturday between 12 and 5. And we're going to have 2 stages. We'll have Fletcher Plaza as our main stage, which will have the Aurora Symphony is going to play, and we'll have a few other live local acts playing their music. We're also going to do a small stage over by the Fox Theater, and there we'll have sort of theater performances, that kind of stuff. They have Willy Wonka playing at the Fox Theater and at the Vintage, so that'll be a lot of fun for kids to come see. Kim Robarts is going to come in, and they're going to do some pop-up dance performances in the district. And we'll have local food vendors and Dry Dock Brewery is coming in to set up a beer garden, which will be a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I think it'll be really a great place for people to kind of come enjoy and spend the afternoon.
Okay, so you'll be getting the information out about that too, so that people
Right.
know they can put it in their calendars.
Right.
It's going to be a great place for to bring kids.
Kids
to
and family will love it.
involved.
You know, if you live at Lowry, you live at Stapleton, or any of those surrounding communities, you know, it's so close for you to just pop by for the afternoon, have fun.
And you'll be able
It's
to
free.
do stuff despite the traffic on Colfax.
Right. We're gonna have lots of parking for people,
Yeah.
and it'll be easy.
You're not going to block off the traffic on Colfax.
No, I don't think we can. I
Let the
think it's a
15 bus
highway.
roll through.
Well, it's a great street. You know, Colfax, we love it.
Well, we've seen it blocked off before for the Gateway to the Rockies parade in
Right.
the old days, so we know it can be done. And a lot of street fairs are doing that now.
Right,
But as you said,
right.
it's a state highway, so it's
a little tougher,
whole bunch
yeah.
of people in Capitol Hill you have to talk to. What are some of the biggest challenges that you see with the district itself, and especially growing it long term? Because arts, sometimes it swings back and forth. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's not. People's focuses go elsewhere. And in a economy that can be tough, they say, I don't have money to do arts. That's always the extra stuff, not the
Right.
things you have to do. What are your biggest challenges there?
Well, you know, art is a luxury item, I think, for sure. When a person is buying, you know, groceries, they want to buy groceries first, and then they'll buy art sort of secondary. And I think that is a challenge for artists to try to make a living, especially in this economy. But I feel that, you know, once people sort of get to know the artist that they're buying in the community, then I think they're more apt to want to purchase their work, which is amazing. You know, I think the challenges kind of right off the bat that I'm seeing is, you know, I think that there really is a lot of great stuff already happening in the district, and I'm hoping that my job will be that I'll be able to help sort of bring that to the surface and rebrand and market the district so that it can really, you know, sort of thrive and people will know it's there, because a lot of times they don't know. You know, they drive down that Colfax street and they go right through the district. And at nights we have the beautiful, you know, light sculpture by Susan Cooper.
Sure.
And you know you're in the district.
Yeah.
But during the day, you know, you go by the library and that kind of stuff, and you know there's something there, but, you know, do you know it's an art district? So I'm hoping to increase the signage, that kind of stuff, to be able to let people know that they've arrived.
You may not hear the echo that I hear, but all the artists that are watching are saying, ask them how we can get involved so I can sell my stuff. You know that's coming.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. We'll go to our website, auroraculture.org, and my email address is on there. You know, send me an email, tracy@auroraculture.org. You know, I'd love to talk to anybody who's in the neighborhood that wants an opportunity to show their work. You know, we could get them involved somehow. If they want to be in the festival, they can sign up online. The booths are $35. It's like nothing, and they can bring down, you know, their work to show and sell in the district. I'm also helping taking over 1400 Dallas, and there is a large gallery space there as well as a smaller space in the front. There's also a classroom space which could also be a gallery. So I'm hoping to really, you know, activate that space to be able to you know, show off the great art that's in Aurora.
Okay, when are you going to be looking at people, or when can they start to contact you so that they can be a part of not only play but everything else going forward?
Right now, I'm ready.
Right now.
Bring
See,
it on.
he's ready right now. Okay. We asked the question. I could hear all the artists, tell them I can show my stuff. Okay, we've done that. We've done exactly
We've done that, yeah. We're
It
inviting
is.
them to come down.
Now, do you see the district maybe growing then, or perhaps maybe relocating at any point, or that's going to be the area? Because I know Aurora's going to be looking at what they can do with the old fanfare area on Havana Street, and then Havana has its own ambiance that's creeping a little bit north too. How's that going to work long term? So you're looking at it staying there and being the anchor?
Yeah, you know, the city of Aurora is really behind it. I mean, they really see the value, I think, in an art district. And, you know, right now we're identifying all the vacant buildings that are there. And we're trying to, you know, create those to be art uses, you know, studio spaces, that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's my goal to be able to be around for a very long time, because a city needs an art district. They need a place where they can go and, you know, have fun and experience culture and vibrancy of their own community.
And then one of the things you said as we began the show was the cultural diversity that Aurora has.
Right.
And so this show, this arts in play and the other things that you're doing. Asian art, for example, very welcome, very good place for it to be.
Oh, it's beautiful, yeah.
And any other culture that has that wants to express, you know, who they are and how they do it, doing this in a very holistic fashion is inclusive of everyone.
Right, right. I mean, that's what art does. It crosses all those lines, all those boundaries, and it invites everyone to come. I mean, I want you to have a show.
Oh, yeah. Some of my old stick figures that I used to do. Well, I'll be glad to do that in oil. Stick in oil. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I thought about it, but I haven't been back there yet, but it's coming. I can see it's coming.
We could do a retrospective for you or something, you know.
Retrospective. Am I that old already? Thank you very, very
I'm
much.
Just kidding.
You know, for property owners up in Northwest, if they want to get involved, maybe switch a part of their business over to arts, is that also something that they can begin to contact you about as well?
That's a great question, because I think that what a lot of business owners don't know, that are property owners that have a vacant space, is that there are models out there that you can create that space into studio spaces, and you divide it up. For an artist, they love communal workspaces. You cut up your square footage into 250 to 300 square foot spaces, and you can charge for each one of those, and you can sometimes make even more rent than you would with just a regular business in there.
Yeah.
So that we do have models that they can kind of look at and kind of get the idea of how to actually fill that space, and then also support the art district at the same time.
And this is also something that we have a lot of baby boomers that are retiring, that are looking for stuff to do. You're going to need volunteers to help get things done.
We always need volunteers for sure, especially for the festivals, a lot of stuff going on. It'd be great to have some docents that would come down and be able to man a gallery for a few hours and talk about the artist and that kind of stuff. So
it's really something that everybody in the community can become involved in, no matter where in Aurora you live.
Right. You could live anywhere. You could live further out east. You could live, North Aurora or wherever.
And eventually, I'm sure you're going to look at taking some of these things on the road, maybe down to Southlands, giving a sample of what's up there for what the artists do. And maybe the schools, for example, maybe in the parks when the banks of the Aurora Bank music series, that's a good place to just have a sample. To see. I'm not trying to run the business.
No, I think it's great.
I'm just marketing.
Well, we're trying to build community, and that's why we're excited that the symphony is going to come to the district, and we're going to be at Kids Spree. We're also going to be at Fall Fest. To start kind of creating that cultural energy that Aurora needs. I mean, it's here, and there's a lot of great stuff already happening. So I hope to connect the art district the best that I can to be able to make it even greater, I guess.
And it's going to take a few more galleries, a few more restaurants before it's ready for a walk again, because I know they've tried an art walk before in Aurora at one time, and I think the galleries were so far apart and there wasn't anything between them that it sort of trended down and probably coming back again.
Yeah, I was just talking to Bob, our board president, and we were talking about Craig at the Vintage Theater had an idea about doing sort of a holiday art market. So we were kind of choosing the last weekend in November, or right before Thanksgiving, actually, not the last weekend. And we would have every location, the theaters, the local businesses, the galleries that are there, the studios, try to have them all be open at the same time. There's Red Delicious Press is an amazing spot right over there by Crawford Elementary. And have them all have shows at the same time, and then maybe do a winter art walk. And then it was just maybe a one-day kind of thing. It wasn't like a first Friday or a second Saturday or that kind of stuff. And start building that energy. We do want more galleries. The more we can get, the better.
Are you going to see, or do you think we're going to get a lot of competition from the other districts that are there, including the ones that you set up? You're competing against yourself.
Right. Well, that competition question always comes up, especially when I was taking this job, that, I'm doing stuff with the Rhino District and other districts, is there a competition element that's there? And yeah, they're competitive, but, in my book, all ships rise together. If we can get the arts in Colorado to all do great, then we'll all do great together. And we can all learn from each other. I was just at this creative summit in Pueblo, where all the other districts sort of presented what they were doing. And it was amazing. I learned a lot from the Santa Fe Art District. I learned a lot from Pueblo. I mean, they do some great stuff as far as reuse of buildings and that kind of thing.
Oh, Santa Fe for sure. I think that has been there for what, 20 years or something. And I don't know how many times I've been over there when nobody really knew about it.
Right.
You know? Now it's like, watch yourself.
It's crazy. Yeah. That's a lot of people.
Totally nuts. You know, how do you do it? We've seen a lot of changes in just art. Electronic art, for example, is here now. So probably finding a space where people who do that can set up the big screens and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So those people are also, you're welcoming their ideas as well as to how you could make that electronic art a little more public as well.
Yeah, well, you know, we just, the board of directors of the Aurora Cultural Art District, what they did is they submitted an RFP for the 1400 Dallas building that I was talking about earlier. And part of that pitch was to be able to create a venue for video editors, for, you know, electronic artists, that kind of stuff, to create a place where they could all share equipment and be able to come in and use the equipment and, you know, pay a monthly fee or whatever, and then be able to have opportunities to show work at the same time. So, you know, as we, you know, progress into the, you know, 21st century, we want to be able to kind of, you know, adapt to, you know, those requests of what artists are working in now.
Something else came to mind. I know it's probably nitpicking, but if you go to Santa Fe, what's the biggest issue over there? Parking. You're going to be working with the city of Aurora that when you're having events, maybe parking is more liberal, parking is more accessible then?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, parking can always be an issue, especially when you have a lot of people in one area at the same time. I mean, it definitely does that. You know, it was interesting. I came out of the Vintage from a meeting, and a local pastor came up to me that was across the street, and he wanted to utilize some of the parking that Vintage had because he was going to have a lot of overflow. And I think as we build the community more, we'll create that synergy that, you know, we can go across the street and ask him if it's okay to use his parking lot. So, you know, creating that community can really help with that opportunity.
So doing stuff indoors during the winter, outdoors during the summer.
Right. And I really want to be able to bring the indoors outdoors. So people, you know, like I said, when they drive through the district, that they know something is happening, you know, that there's excitement or creativity happening, and they can get involved.
And so those students you went to high school with calling you already?
They are.
Dude, you know, can you hook an artist up?
Well, that vintage photo they showed, that was from a friend of mine, Gail, and she used to live in the neighborhood. She grew up here, you know, and she was just so thrilled. She posted that on my Facebook page. And, you know, I mean, that's when I was here.
That's your blue Volkswagen right there, too, isn't it?
You know, my mom, you know, worked at People's Bank, and, you know, I used to walk across that street all the time to go to school, and, you know, it's a great neighborhood. I love it.
And now you get to do something about making it even more permanent there, not the buildings being torn down. We can enjoy the assortment of architecture that's there. That may be another aspect too, because Denver has Open Doors Denver, Northwest Aurora, Open Doors, because there's a lot of historic architecture that is there as well.
Yeah, I mean, the whole area, there's a lot of mid-century modern, which is, you know, incredible. I mean, you know, I'm really excited that Aurora has saved a lot of that type of architecture because it's amazing.
And I know not too far away from there, some of the first tract houses that were built on the models out of New York when they came up with the subdivision. We have in Aurora.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Up there in Fletcher.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of good reason to do the area and to anchor the area, and what you said, the opportunity triangle there. So people will be able to find out information about it in the local newspapers, Channel 8 here for sure. So
yeah, the Sentinel's been awesome, and Channel 8, that's great. So.
Because they're going to know where to look first. At the libraries, you'll have info there.
Yeah, we're putting flyers everywhere.
I'm just trying to get the word out now. Where
people
can look and see.
The website's the best place to go. You know.
What's the website address again?
It's auroraculture.org.
Auroraculture.org.
Yeah, and you know, as a few months go by, I'm going to start to, you know, rebrand. We got our new logo, and I'm just going to try to, you know, really charge some energy and high design into the branding and the marketing of the districts at the same time.
And you got music with the Aurora Symphony, but you're looking for more music, bands and groups and chamber orchestras maybe to really expand and flesh out the arts idea.
We want the full rounded picture for sure of all kinds of arts groups for sure. And there are some great buildings down there. It would be great, you know, studios or practice spaces for bands and stuff.
The same way with dance. And so far so good. Starting to build it well.
It's so far so good.
And the future art walk is free. Love that.
Free is always good.
Free, yeah.
Definitely.
So did you ever phantom when you were at Aurora Central that you would be back here impacting your community in such a way? Because everybody usually thinks, oh, I got to go out and save people, I got to do something like that, you know, be kind to kids. But now you're creating a whole new area.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I actually had an epiphany when I came in here, and I thought, wow, this is really happening. I mean, it really is that, you know, this is the neighborhood where, you know, I grew up in, you know, and I went to school in Durango. But then after I went to college, I actually moved back and spent a lot of my formative years as an artist working in the district. And it's a very supportive community, and I'm happy that I can help them and give back to the city.
As they say, hometown guy makes good.
That's good.
I can't wait to the opening, so the hors d'oeuvres are always great. So.
Yeah, we're having a little reception, you know, this month for me too. So.
All right. Well, I tell you. Well, thank you for being here, Tracy.
Yeah, thank you.
The new executive director of the Aurora Cultural Arts District. Did I get it right?
That's right.
All right. That's right. Dateline Aurora, we're going to be exactly there. So you have to promise to come back and update us on your progress.
Definitely, I'll be back for sure.
All right, deal. That's all the time we have for this edition. We thank you for watching Dateline Aurora. We hope to see you back here again next month.
You're watching Aurora 8, proud to be serving the all-America city of Aurora, Colorado.